thank you very much for your attention. And of course, if you'd like to take a small esteemed honor to welcome our Managing Director, seated at the base of a fire across the road to the make your way through this. Ladies and gentlemen, again an honor to. If you haven't done so already. And also this morning, direct you to the little agenda leaflet on your table.
Mr. Kazi Rahman, Managing Director, Total Fiji Limited. Mr. Arif Ali, Governor, Reserve Bank of Fiji. Ambassador Solomara, Secretary General, Pacific Islands Development Forum. Distinguished heads and representatives from government, corporate organizations and statutory authorities. Representatives from our own university, FNU, private sector representatives, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you all, and it's such a pleasure to see a big turnout for this particular day. I congratulate and thank Total Fiji for hosting Ino Day 2020 event for the first time in Fiji for various organizations. As a multinational company, I'm pleased to note that Total is committed to innovation. Total showcases local innovative practices in the countries where it operates and honors organizations across different sectors for their innovative practices at their annual Innovation Day events. And I hope Total will continue this practice even next year and year beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 pandemic continues to have a significant impact on everything from consumer behavior to business operations. We have seen the manner in which COVID-19 pandemic caused upheaval in the global stock market. It disrupted supply chains, shattered and shuttered businesses, closed airport, and left thousands of people unemployed. We have never experienced anything so severe and so sudden in our lifetime. Fiji has been lucky in many ways that we managed to contain COVID-19, and the disruptions that we have seen worldwide is not what we see here today. If that was the case, probably we all will be sitting in our house under lockdown, as we can see the decisions being made in UK and other countries, or we would be sitting probably two per table. So it's a good feeling that yes, we are better off in some ways. But when it comes to businesses and when it comes to employment, we are same worldwide. And that's where we need to be more innovative in how we do our business and how we can respond to consumer needs. The threat to lives and livelihood has created a climate of uncertainty, forcing businesses to make tough choices in order to survive and adapt COVID-19. COVID-19 has changed almost every aspect of life from personal to professional. It is therefore evident that the changes to how people live and work, how people shop, how companies interact and deliver goods, and the use of technology will last long after the pandemic is over. Staying on top of consumer trends and supply chain is a must for businesses to deal with this disruption to normal life. Companies that are agile invest in improving user experience. As we have heard from the Managing Director, they spend $1 billion in R&D. And if we look at how R&D has developed over the years around the world, started off with few $1 million to now running in trillions. So again, this idea of getting different sectors together is a good one, because when you want to translate an idea into something big, you need different sectors' contribution. You need science, you need technology, you need education, and of course you need all these arts, that is marketing techniques and so forth. Because at the end of the day, we're all working towards one group, and that is the consumer group. You can have the best idea, but if it doesn't gel with the consumers, your idea can be on the shelf for a long time. So you can have the money, you can have the desire to do something, but without the user experience, it cannot translate into something more profitable for the companies who are working towards innovation and towards creating new products and services. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen changes in business and consumer preference due to the pandemic. Before COVID-19, each and every business was trying to beautify their shops, making it more interactive, making it more interesting, just to have loyalty programs and so forth, trying to attract large number of consumers to their shop. But today, around the world, you can see that that change has come in because of COVID-19. People prefer no contact experience. In other words, they don't want to go to the shops. In Fiji's situation, we are different. Why? Because we don't have community spread of COVID-19. We have contained it. But at the borders, there are cases being reported. And I'm very grateful to the health workers and the disciplinary forces that they have been working around the clock, making sure that we are safe. But in a worst scenario, such things can happen in Fiji as well if we are not careful. So there's a lot to learn from other countries in terms of the impact of COVID-19 on businesses. So the pandemic has taught businesses how to address customers' new needs and build stronger customer relationship in the new normal. The need for innovation is much greater now due to COVID-19, which has fueled disruption from which new businesses or new business models have emerged. And we have seen new business model emerge in Fiji as well. We all knew that we were Fiji. Their products always reaches the high end of the market in events like Oscar, etc. But due to COVID-19, they changed their business model and they started producing sanitizers. And we have seen garment factories who couldn't export their products started making masks. And not forgetting Paradise Beverages. They also ventured out and started producing disinfectant alcohol for sanitizers, and later on started making sanitizers just to support COVID-19 prevention. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand Total emphasizes innovation in 3 areas: innovative services, innovative processes, and innovative development. My ministry have also been tasked with creating or ensuring innovation across all these 3 areas. And innovation means starting from the standpoint of the customer, that is, from the user experience. At the Ministry of Local Government, when COVID-19 pandemic set in, disrupting all in its path, we knew we needed to act quickly. Our immediate response was to offer our municipal council facilities and all the open spaces to be used by the health workers as isolation facilities, fever clinics, and testing station. And this was very important so that the health officials could respond better. Our next emphasis was markets, because we all need food. We knew that there is a supply chain disruption, and during the lockdown in Lautoka, we had to make sure that the food continued to enter the market so that people within Lautoka could buy the fruits and vegetables. But we had to adhere to social distancing. As I said, COVID-19 it just came as a surprise, so we all were struggling what to do next, how to do it. But the main important thing for us was to make sure that people remain in the area and they can buy the fruits and vegetables. So we started decentralizing our markets. And that is something that we're not going to stop now, something that started from COVID-19. In fact, it's a very good idea that we should decentralize our markets so that people can shop closer to their homes rather than traveling long distances. And there are plans for decentralization of markets. We have got 3 markets in mind at the moment, which is Flagstaff, Rewanga, and Mid Road. We will be making these 3 markets, and other markets will come up in other areas as well. Again, innovation is the way. I mean, why should we be spending a lot of money in getting the designs and getting the engineers on board and spending large sum of money up front? So we have decided that we're going to have a particular model for markets so that we can just replicate these markets everywhere and saving cost and time. And we don't have to go through the approval processes, which is so important. And I want to talk about approval process as the next example of innovation in services. I know for years people have been complaining about the services delivered by Town and Country Planning. Today I will be honest with you to share my own very experience with Town and Country Planning. You can't blame Town and Country Planning when they're trying to operate on legislations that were developed before our independence. And these legislations are 70 years old. Imagine, 70 years old. What was planning then and what is planning now? So of course, we have to change the legislation. That's the first thing. But while we are waiting for the legislations to be redone, etc., etc., there are other things that we can do immediately. And the first change that I made just about a month ago was to make Town and Country Planning simply using the business model a production line. In other words, there are 3 teams, and your job is only looking at the applications, whether it's building, rezoning, or subdivision. Previously, they had 3 teams, each team looking after rezoning, each team looking after only one aspect, which was rezoning, subdivision, or building applications. So now, when the applications come into Town and Country Planning, it gets registered, and then these applications are distributed to a team. So we are able to monitor, we are able to check the productivity. All policy-related and complaints-related matter goes to another team, because that will now gauge the productivity and the performance of the team. Besides this little change that we have made to the organization, but we are also working on some regulations that we intend to introduce in a couple of months. The first component is looking at the general provisions, where we are still operating during colonial era, where the general provisions very clearly state that there has to be 3 meters of setback, the plot ratio should be of this size and that size. But we know that land is scarce, and we cannot apply certain provisions which were developed before our independence. So that would be the next change that we will be introducing. And the second regulation that we intend to bring in very quickly is people, who are these professionals who can lodge application? That is clearly not stated in any of the legislation. And what we see, substandard applications reaching the office, and there is a lot of back and forth, and that frustrates the clients. They think, why the staff at Town and Country Planning are not customer friendly or not trying to approve things quickly? Well, they can't, because the application or the plan submitted is not up to mark. It's generally cut and paste, right? Structural integrity is questionable, and so forth. And even the plans are not up to, the diagram does not even disclose key information that is required. So we need to change all that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, now I want to talk about the last innovation, which is development. Total's third area is innovative development, and I want to highlight to you that Blue Town, government's endorsed Blue Town model, is the best example of innovative development. This innovative model embraces all 17 development goals. The first Blue Town in the world will bring together all elements of local sustainability under one umbrella by implementing projects in the 7 areas of local master planning, sustainable livelihoods, marine conservation, renewable energy, managing waste, education, and ecotourism. And I invite everyone in this room to become involved in this truly innovative partnership approach. I note that the Smart and Sustainable City Framework also emphasizes the importance of innovation when building smart cities. At the Ministry of Local Government, we know that smart cities and towns needs to be planned. Therefore, we are working with Singapore Corporation Enterprise on the master plans for Greater Suva, Lautoka, and Nadi. This is to ensure that best practice in planning serves our communities for the next 75 years. The master plans we are developing will emphasize greater certainty in commercial zoning, the building of ring roads around our cities to move heavy traffic from inner urban roads, decentralization so that transport hubs and community infrastructure are placed throughout the suburbs, thus decreasing the travel distances for Fijians as they live, work, shop, and play. Once again, I congratulate Total for bringing organization together at the Inno Day event to profile and honor innovation. Innovation can't happen without relationships and partnerships. And relationships and partnerships are needed to drive the ideas forward. The intention is to increase dialogue and promote those innovations that will improve the life and livelihood of Fijians. And I also take this opportunity to thank Total Fiji Limited for their donation towards COVID-19 relief response. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and have a productive seminar. Pinaka.
Cautiously around the back of the building. Also, some housekeeping announcements as usual. Out the entry door, straight across down the hall is where you'll find the washrooms. And is a norm, please, for your address this morning. And on that